Right, so I think the time is 1:35, so it's scheduled for 1 o'clock. So we've waited to admit everybody in. We had 7 people registered for this community open afternoon, but unfortunately none of them have made the actual meeting. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead with the meeting and cover off all the points in our presentation. We're also going to cover off the questions that have been asked prior to this presentation as well. So when people registered, they were able to ask a question beforehand, and that's great because it meant that we could go away and now we can answer those questions. So welcome to everybody. You're probably watching this on our the community page of our website, which is great for this particular site. So just a little bit about this site. So I'll do some introductions in a second to us personally, but a little bit about this site first of all. The site is owned by Live Housing Group, and Lane End Group are building the site. So that's the differentiation, and we want to show that to the community that actually Lane End are constructing the site. So anything that's kind of site based to do with the works is absolutely ours to be communicated. And then Live Housing Group will be managing this project once it's ready. So they will be managing the houses themselves. And the site is actually a mix of 5 bungalows and 44 1- and 2-bedroom apartments for over 55 living. There are a few questions about allocations and things like that, and we're going to cover them in the Q&A session at the end. But the homes will be available for affordable rent aimed at the over 55s, and as I said before, that will be managed by Live Housing Group. So we're building them, and Liv will be managing them once they are ready. So a couple of introductions to us. I'll just introduce myself first because I'm not even on the introductions. My name's Kate Harrison. I'm CEO of Lane End New Beginnings. It's our social enterprise arm of Lane End Group, who are building these houses and these units. We set up Lane End New Beginnings about 5 years ago to coordinate our community efforts, and we really do set up our sites as if we were living next door to them. So what we want to do is treat others as we want to be treated, and we genuinely like to support our communities, and we've done that in a number of different ways. This is Laura Perry. And Laura has been at the forefront of our community activity, whether that's been liaising with local schools, helping with career support, recording and making sure that we've got apprentices on site, giving local job opportunities, and also working with community associations within the area. So Laura's going to give us an update on that as well. And we have Derek Anderson. Hello, Derek.
Hello.
Very professional. Love that. Hello. Come on down, Derek. Derek is our senior construction manager for Lane End Group. He is responsible for overseeing this site. So Derek is going to give us a site update, what we've been seeing on site recently and where we're up to, and anything that you can expect in the near future as well. Just for your reference as well, on this site we've got Lee Dillon as well, who's our project manager, Darren Hughes, site manager, and John Fitzgerald is our senior quantity surveyor on this site. All these people you'll see out and about on site, and our sites really do like that kind of two-way communication. So that's why we were kind of hoping that there would be more people on this today. It was great that we had 7 registered, but we always want to communicate and be very transparent with our communities. So it's really important that we get that two-way communication. You know, if there was a problem that we didn't know about, we couldn't handle it and we couldn't solve it unless we know about it. So this is a really important way and a really useful way of being able to link and connect with our communities to make sure that everyone's happy and that we are working together in partnership, which is exactly what we want to be doing. So first off, Derek is going to give us a little update from site at Sandymoor. So Derek, I'm going to hand over to you.
Superb. Welcome Sandymoor team. I'd like to just give a quick update on the works progressing on site. The work on the apartment block is progressing well, all on target for our contract completion. works are due to commence on the bungalows very shortly. Logistically, we're just trying to do it a safe, best way we possibly can, working with the co-op and local residents. So we are due to start the bungalows as soon as possible. It will be by the first week in July. We've got there's a new cycle path due to be installed. All we need to do is progress the apartment block, so we can release the scaffold, and that will give us right of way for the cycle path, which will make life a lot easier for residents, pedestrians, dog walkers, etc. And we apologise for any inconvenience that's caused during these works. The programme on the apartment block is progressing really well. Obviously, we've had to work with the local community centre, so we try and work around the guys there. I think we've got a fantastic relationship, and with work alongside the co-op and all their staff and people parking in the car parks. So the apartment blocks are going well. All the different builds. It's a very tight site. Logistically, for materials and making sure that we don't get in the way of anybody's car park, for the community centre. All the builds are on programme for completion on March. I think it's the end of March next year, 23. So I'd just like to say that if anybody's got anything they need to talk to myself or the team on site, we're always available. I'm more than happy to meet up to talk to anything. I'll invite you to the office and we'll have a coffee and we'll run through anything. More than happy to do that. And if anyone's got any complaints or questions they need to or they need answering, I'm more than happy. So that's it from the team, and I hope that's okay. And,
that's brilliant. No, thank you, Derek. And I think that's really important, because I think it's important. This is what I want people to see, put kind of faces to names, and to see that, you're an approachable bunch. Obviously, it is a tight site. It's a site that's surrounded by people at various different times. We've had to really stagger our deliveries and parking arrangements and things around the community there. Now we've got the co-op there, which is obviously open. So there are a lot of considerations to take into account, and I think it's really important that we get that two-way communication. So if there are any issues, or if there's anything that you want to talk to the site team about, please do pop to site, and someone will absolutely welcome you and just have that open, transparent communication, which is what this is all about. You can also email any of us or phone any of us, and I think our contact details are on the community board, ways of contacting us. But it is really important to us, vitally important, that we're working alongside our community, and we're working in partnership. So I'm going to hand over to Laura now, talking of community. That was a very nice link, wasn't it? Talking of community, I'm going to hand over to Laura now to tell you about some of the work that Laura's been doing to support the local area.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Laura Perry. As Kate mentioned before, so at Lane Group, we are so passionate about the communities around our sites, and we don't just build homes, we really like to build the community around, as well as leaving a lasting legacy. So when we've kind of finished on site and we leave, our legacy kind of remains in the area, and we can still have that ongoing community support. So we do this in lots of different areas. So one of our big things is we're big advocates for careers in construction. So we like to link with local educational establishments. We also work very closely with local charities and not-for-profits and support wherever we can, as well as that kind of local labour and also young talent. So in Sandymoor so far, I'm just going to go through some of our main headlines and a bit of a snapshot of what we've already completed while on site. So we've currently utilised 17 local subcontractors and suppliers. Again, that's really important, that kind of local labour, local support, putting money back into the local economy and really giving people those local jobs, which is a fantastic and one of our kind of main values. So in terms of kind of the actual local people that are on site, to date we've employed 49. So again, that's investing back into our local community. And for local labour, we always say within 30 miles, so 1 hour of site. So that's kind of the remit that we would look to measure against. Then in terms of our apprentices, we've currently got 5 on site in a variety of different provisions. I think especially on site, the highest number we have is 3 bricklayers. So that's them working in partnership with colleges to make sure that we kind of give them that real experience out on site, but they're also still getting their qualification and that can help progress them on with their career. So back in November, myself and my colleague Lauren attended Sandymoor Ormston Academy, just located just behind site, and we hosted a careers fair there. We met lots of different students throughout the school years, 7 to 11, and provided that really one-to-one career support, promoting careers in construction, but also just providing general career support. We understand construction may not be for everyone, so we really like to kind of advise in any way we can, whether that's given CV advice, work experience, any way we can to try and support the students on their career journeys. And then lastly, kind of one of the big projects we've just recently carried out is the hard landscaping for the Sandymoor Community Centre. So that's the bottom picture on the screen there that you can see. So ahead of the planned Jubilee celebrations, we've completed some work there to allow people to park cars and for the community hall to host fundraising events. And I've heard lots about the Jubilee, so I'm sure it'll be a fantastic event, and we're more than happy to support in the preparations for that.
Yeah, we've also worked with preschool, haven't we? And that top picture is the is our little mini building site that the preschool have got as well, because they do like watching the diggers.
They do.
Thank you for that, Laura. So you can see we've been really busy. You know, we do like to support those communities, and as well as the two-way communication, we're always open to ideas on ways to help the community. So again, do voice those. If anyone's got any ideas, then please do come forward, and hopefully we can work together on something. So we have had a few questions, not so many, but there are a couple of questions. Unfortunately, our client Live Housing couldn't make this particular meeting, but what we are going to do is pass any questions that they need to answer to them. The first question was about purchase opportunities. So what are the opportunities to purchase? And then our answer to that is, I'm going to read it out so that I don't get it wrong. So with your permission, which hopefully we'll get, all rental inquiries are going to be passed on to Live Housing Group. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make this call today. So the only thing that we can do is pass you on to Liv. Unfortunately, Leyland doesn't have any kind of dealings with the actual letting of the homes themselves. So Liv Housing will be coordinating that. And at the next one of these, we expect a representative from Liv Housing to be here so that they can absolutely keep you up to date with the process and how these things are allocated. Every single client's different, so I can't really comment on that at the moment. How many are going to be housing association? Well, all of the bungalows and apartments are allocated for the Live Housing Group. So all of them are owned by Live Housing, who are a housing association. There was also a query about waste management on the construction site. We just wanted a bit of clarification from Pauline, who submitted that question. But we do work very closely with our waste partners, Kenny Waste, and on average 99% of our waste is recycled and diverted from landfill. It's something that we're very proud of. It's something that we're working very hard on, the environmental agenda, making sure that our sites are sustainable. So waste is something that we've had a real crackdown on over the past 2 years. We also litter pick the site compound once a day, and it's also inspected daily by our site management team. There are lots of bins available on site for operatives to use, and toolbox talks are held on the importance of waste and recycling materials where possible. We've recently just trialled a new system whereby all of our scrap gets taken away and used. It generates cash for our community funds, so that's helped to fund some of these projects that you've seen within the area, but also it ensures also that our subcontractors are very aware of waste as well. We try to be hot on a lack of waste, if you like, so we've really managed to reduce the number of skips that we do have on site through education of our supply chain, as well as to effective often materials ordering, and making them take responsibility for their own waste, which has led to I think it's about a 45% reduction on skips on site, which is great, which is good news for us, good news for the environment too. And the last question from Suzanne Henson was, what's the completion date? And as Derek had mentioned, it's March 2023. So that's when we are expecting completion. The build programme is set for then, and we're contracted to then, so we hope to see a fully formed site ready for people to move into and enhance the community a little bit more. So as there's nobody in the actual lobby, we're not obviously can't take any more questions because there's no one to give them. But hopefully those have answered the questions that have been asked. Again, Pauline, who had Pauline Shearer, that is, who'd asked that question about the purchase opportunities and the waste management, we can converse with you anyway and make sure that that's clarified, that answer for you. And if you need more clarification, we can do that too. But for today, that's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the recording and you've managed to catch up with it if you missed this on an earlier date. Thank you, Derek, for joining us.
No, superb. Always here to answer any questions, and there's always people in the site office who'll take a message for me, and I'll quite happily come and meet them on site. Superb.
Brilliant. Thanks, Derek, and thank you, Laura, for all that you do in the local community. You probably will see Laura out and about, and if we don't see you before, everybody in the community, enjoy your Jubilee party because it all sounds fantastic. Thanks very much. Bye.
Bye bye.